Hi, how do you protect school districts from DDoS attacks using FortiDDoS appliances? My name is Hemant Jain. I am VP of Product Engineering in the FortiDDoS group at Fortinet. So first, let's talk about why there are DDoS attacks in school districts, why it's easy to launch DDoS attacks, and then why are school districts switching to FortiDDoS for mitigating these attacks? And then how do you deploy FortiDDoS as an appliance in your network is what I'll be talking about in this presentation. So the first thing that's important to know is that 99% of the DDoS attacks on school districts are driven by insiders. That is mostly the students. All they have to do is find the gateway IP address and then use stressor, booter, all these sites to launch DDoS attacks on that IP address. Unlike corporations with trade secrets and data to protect, many school districts make it very easy for systems to connect. And then students can use it both for inbound attacks and outbound attacks, which are launched from inside to an outside system. DDoS attacks, like any other cyber attack, is a police and thief game. When the school districts deploy new technology, the students do a one-upmanship and try to overcome those restrictions and still launch these attacks. Now, schools are beginning to embrace the cloud technology even faster than a lot of enterprises, because it's easy to deploy and it's easy to maintain without a local manpower and local systems. So if they are hosting school applications on public clouds such as Google, Amazon, or Azure, those services are usually not affected by DDoS attacks. But the single point of failure that you have in school districts is your school's firewall or web proxy or the Wi-Fi public gateway. Those are the single points of failure. And if somebody can attack these points, the students and the staff can lose connectivity to the internet-based services, causing a distributed denial of service attack. So what are the prevalent solutions? So the first is, if you go to your ISP, who could be a very basic ISP, the only tool they have is black holing. So if you get attacked and if your pipe is overflowing, they would just simply black hole your IP address, which actually helps the attackers because you're denying service to your legitimate users. Now, if you have an advanced ISP offering, they may take inputs from your CPE device and take inputs such as flow spec, which gives them more details about what is the type of attack. So rather than black holing the whole IP, they could block, let's say, just UDP packet or fragmented UDP packets, or attacks to a specific protocol, or attacks to a specific TCP or UDP port, or something like an NTP reflection port. But then your CPE device has to inform using technology to the ISP. And that's not something you can manually do, nor you may have the resources to identify details of those attacks. Now, if you have a full service for a single IP, it can be extremely slow inaccurate, and most ISPs usually operate only at layer 3 or layer 4 because those are the tools they have. They would not be able to determine any layer 7 details and block those attacks. Next, you may have a full class C with BGP diversion for a hybrid DDoS attack mitigation. Now that requires a full class C ownership, which many school districts may not have. So that's the reason school districts are now deploying FortiDDoS appliance, because it offers unmatched DDoS protection. And what are the reasons? First reason, FortiDDoS offers more than 140 attack types, simultaneously monitoring more than 230,000 parameters in real time with no sampling, and that too in both directions. So it can protect you from attacks such as SYN flood, ICMP flood, protocol flood, NTP reflection, slow LoRaWAN, and so on, both inbound as well as outbound. And all that within 2 seconds of an attack start. And that goes along with a completely autonomous learning, an operation designed for novice users, which requires not much manual tuning during the attacks. So the system is totally automated. And all monitoring is fully independently done for both inbound and outbound attacks. So whether you have attacks which are coming from outside the internet or going from your internal network to outside, both attacks are independently monitored and mitigated. And another important feature which the customers like is that there are no ongoing mandatory threat intelligence or signature subscriptions, which could be very costly. We do have additional services which are useful, but those are not mandatory. FortiDDoS appliances have 100% inspection with a single packet anomaly drop, providing true clean pipe service, and it's a single pass system. And then you have a whole lot of reports which are both graphical in nature and tabular data. You can have SNMP, you can have connectivity to more tools such as FortiSIM, FortiAnalyzer, for further detailed reporting, which could be over a long period of time. FortiDDoS appliances have been created using ASICs that gives them extremely high performances. The ACLs that FortiDDoS have support millions of IP addresses simultaneously without any performance implications. And these lists could come from your firewall, from your IPS appliance, from the WAF, or any other source that can download those lists to FortiDDoS appliance. FortiDDoS comes with an additional service called Domain Reputation Service. So this gives it the ability to block domains that are CNC servers, botnet controllers, and so on, and unwanted domains. Additionally, you can also block domains that you know are harmful. Additionally, we have local address anti-spoofing that prevents compromised devices in sites from participating in outbound DDoS attacks. So how do you deploy FortiDDoS appliance? A typical simplistic school district infrastructure looks somewhat like in this picture. So you have internet connectivity, which goes to a district office, and then from there might be switches which lead to connectivity to different schools within the district. You may have more complex infrastructure, multiple ISPs, or direct connectivity to different schools, or you may have SD-WAN connectivity. And in all these connectivity examples, all you have to do appliance at the ingress point of the network, and that would create a gateway through which DDoS attacks won't pass through. Now, depending on your internet connectivity type and bandwidth, you may choose different models. So we have models starting at 3 gigs going up to 12 gigs with copper and gigabit fiber connectivity. And if you have 10 gig connectivity, you have 1000B and 1200B models, which also provide an interface of 10 gig with bypass capabilities. And if you have 40 gig or 100 gig connectivity links, then you can go for our 1500E and 2000E models, which support a mitigation capacity of up to 280 gigabits per second. You can have more info about these DDoS mitigation appliances at Fortinet.com. Hope you like this presentation. Thank you.